We had band practice, and then I was like, okay, I need to leave, and then the traffic jumped like 10 minutes.
Damn.
But
Okay,
we were
we're
gonna
live.
record. Gonna record in my teens.
Let's go. Finally.
Yep. And we're gonna do an EP if that goes well. I'm gonna send
Fuck
this to
yeah.
my band group chat too. Why the hell not? Why wouldn't I?
Let's
Why
go.
shouldn't I?
Okay.
Okay. If you want to check for levels really quick, or you can ask Krish.
Is Chris here already?
Dude, Krish is like chronically online. I wonder if Mac's gonna join. I'm gonna ping the. Or did you already ping? Oh, Eric took a picture. Are you posting on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a picture I wanted to use, but we don't have to use it.
Well, this is just on our story,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I
I
was
was
gonna
just gonna...
post.
Oh, you can do it
No,
then.
it's fine. You
If
can do
you...
it. I'll send you what I was gonna use.
Yeah, so well, send me.
Okay, okay.
Where are you sending it?
I'm just gonna text it to you.
Okay. We're so professional. Jesus Christ.
Okay, it's sent.
Fuck you. No one will know. No one will know. No one will know. That was despicable. Uh,
That was awesome. I don't know what you're talking about. All right,
I'm
Krish.
hearing everything 3 times. Okay, like
We got 4 viewers. Goddamn.
let's go. People were ready. It's me on
It's my fault,
on my
gang.
phone and my it's
My
it's
fault.
it's us.
My bad.
It's, uh,
I'm gonna call Krish if he's not in there.
our bad.
Hello.
Krish, join the stream.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I'm sorry.
You're on the stream right now.
Yeah. Okay. I'll join it. Let me
You
fix
can
this
you want to say anything to the stream?
I hate Plaid. This is terrible.
You're playing
place.
Marvel Rivals, you sick motherfucker. Okay.
Okay, I posted to the story.
Let's go. If you tag, did you already posted shit? I was gonna try to re-tag it on my own story. That's okay.
Oh, do I have to tag you and
Well, if you then
and
I can just
I can
repost
edit
it
that,
easier.
okay. Yeah. Options. Uh, Add mentions. There we go. You or okay, now we are both mentioned,
Cool.
which means I can switch. And then I can add to my story. How about them birds? Oh, hello, Krish. This has been a disaster.
Oh shit! I put on my close friend story. Whatever. Cancel upload, of course. I hate Instagram sometimes. Okay. Something has gotten wrong with the framing on Instagram stories. I don't know what is up. It's just like it's like unintelligible. I'm
no.
deleting it. It just crops it really horribly.
Oh no.
Whatever. You know, if they were gonna watch it in the first place, they'd be here already. Let's be real. All right.
No. People who probably got thrown off by I don't know.
Who else is here? Oh, we lost 2 viewers.
We'll give it a little. It's just to let
Give them
people
my
join.
ASMR.
Oh, I gotta announce on the server too. I don't know. Did you announce on yours?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We'll put it on the other one.
I'm gonna send it to Max too. This
Hell
one's
yeah.
For him.
Okay. Holy.
This is ASMR.
I feel like we gotta spice up these tier names a little bit,
True.
but I don't know what they could be. But it can't just be S A B C D. Brown as top. I feel like that's a little biasing. To you?
I'll show you what's a little biasing.
Oh no. Shut the fuck up. Oh no, I need to open up my documentation. God, this is a mess.
I actually made a fucked like thing this time. I
Oh
wrote
hell yeah.
notes for every song, but not like crazy notes.
That's what I normally do.
Yeah,
but,
I did it for
oh,
the first time.
Jesus Christ.
But I did it in my notes app, so it was like really fucked.
If I if I screen share, will you be able to show what I'm doing?
I should be able to.
I just want people to see the lengths I went to.
Sure. I think I can capture it. Yep, there it is. And then I'll make it bigger for a sec.
Look at this awful fucking color
Laugh
palette.
counter, poggers moment.
Okay, so the
Suck and fuck rating.
that's my rating system for the
What
the
the
Brown
fuck?
albums. How hard a song fucks, how much it sucks. This is what I did for
This is like unintelligible.
I know you can't see it all. When I was editing it, I toned down the the pink a little bit. But God, it's so bad. Alright, that's enough.
What are the colors for the pod? Okay.
I can't show you my pod notes. I also use different rating. Like the pod has a brownness scale.
No.
And
Godwin Sage should too, though.
yeah, but each one is different.
Oh,
and then
God. You gotta share it with me. When you're done.
I will. It's guavacity.
Guavacity, dear God.
Like how much guava did they put in this music?
Okay.
And then I didn't have anything for chocolate and cheese. I just took notes on the songs, and then I didn't take any notes on 12 Golden Country Greats.
Well.
But I didn't need to. I just listened to it over and over again. I went insane.
Are we ready to start?
I think I'm ready to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sup, guys? Welcome to season 3 of Societycore. 3rd year. You should have stopped us when you could. So the alternative season, and we're covering an alternative artist today. known as Ween.
Do you have any fun facts or research to share?
No,
Since this
I
was,
just I have it off just off the top of my head. You know, I got that Ween knowledge on me.
go for it. This
To
was
start
this was
off at
your
the
pick.
beginning. All right, all right.
Mhm. Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm thinking.
Okay.
You know, Ween wouldn't be here without Boognish. He
True.
with there were two guys in high school, and the mighty Boognish came down from the sky and said, "You are now going to be named Gene and Dean Ween, and you're gonna make music." And because of that, because of the Boognish, Ween exists, and so we wouldn't be here without him. So I have to thank him for that.
Yeah. I think that covers pretty much everything.
All right, guys.
Very factual,
Thanks for
very
tuning in on the stream.
Everything goes in S, and we're done. Everything goes in B for Boognish, and we're
P
done.
for Boognish.
So I think is that how this works? I can never remember. I feel like we've done it differently every time, but
What? Oh, you start.
oh, I
'Cause
start.
I picked it.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense, I guess. So, starting with Godween Satan, this album is is very funny. That's probably the best way to open. It's like one of the funniest albums I've ever listened to. It's so goofy and fun. I kept a laugh counter because after I got to the third song, I was like really just cracking up at it. So I just kept track through my first like 3 or 4 listens and consistently was laughing at a lot of these tracks. It also has so many incredible moments of like a song kind of sucks a little bit or like it just sounds muddy or brown as the Ween fan base would describe it as this is one of their brown albums and then like the best guitar solo you've ever heard starts or just a crazy breakdown or a beautiful fucking transition into like really sweet pop track that you did not expect or they just do something insane like a gospel around about the Boognish. I don't know. I feel like I could talk for about every single one of these songs quite a bit. It's pretty fucking wild. I think I think that this album was created as like a compilation of previously released stuff.
It's their greatest hits album. The
Yeah,
first one.
it's a greatest hits album, which makes sense. It's shockingly tight for being like an
That's what she
hour and a
said.
half. Okay. It has. Let's see. Looking over this, I'm like,
Isn't it
how many
26
songs do I
songs?
dislike? And it's like 3, maybe. Which for a 26-song album is wild, and it also has some insanely good tracks. Yeah, I feel like I want to hold off on specific
Okay.
track shoutouts until you've given your spiel,
I will.
but I'm very positive on Godween Satan. Yeah,
You know, you're not even giving it the full title. It's Godwin Satan, the Oneness.
the oneness. Sorry.
Anyways, before I dive into this, I want to go over what brown is to the Ween community. You know, I looked up a lot, and there was a bunch of different answers, but I think the common consensus is the first 3 albums are their brown albums before they actually got into a real studio and they were just kind of fucking around. But what I've come to realize is that brown is like everybody knows it's shit. Like, it sounds like complete fucking shit. It's horrible. But at the same time, it's just like, it's just fucking awesome. It's, and they're like, it's great. So it's like, Brown contradicts itself, you know? It's fucking
Mhm.
horrible. It's also the best thing I've ever heard. Um, and I think if I want to really dive into that, I think it's more so, the way they went to record it and a bunch of the sounds and everything just goes against of what a normal song should sound like. And so in contrast to like most of the music that's coming out, it sounds really fucking horrible compared to it. But the actually like unique and good songwriting is there. Like the songs are fun to listen to. There's shit in there you're like never gonna hear anywhere else. So even though if like tonally it's like one of the worst things you've ever heard, it's also just really cool because nobody else is doing it. And I think that's what Brown is.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
But I think like for people who haven't heard much, what we mean by sounds like shit is like fidelity wise, the recording quality is generally terrible.
The
The
mixing's bad.
instruments can be out of tune. The mixing is bad. Like, oh man, and my cat's thrown up in the
Oh!
corner. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I'll be right back. You can keep going.
Alright. So yeah. Brown is like, it shouldn't work at all, but it does. So, um, just to get into Godwin Satan itself, it's kind of daunting because I think it's like an hour and a half almost, and it's like 26 songs, and you get to the middle of it, and you're just like, how the hell is there like still like 45 minutes left? Um, you think it's gonna end, and then it doesn't. For me personally, though, with Godwin Satan, there's a lot of songs that I really do enjoy, and then there's some that I don't enjoy as much. I still think are fine, and then I think like I agree with Aiden. There's probably like 5 songs that I just do not really fuck with. But it's almost like none of the songs really even sound the same, or they're all kind of like really different in genre bending. So it's like if you don't like one song, it's not like the rest of the album's gonna be that exact same song, or they're gonna be doing something entirely different for the next song. So it's like it's almost like a sample platter, and which is why it kind of ties into them having it a greatest hits album. Um, what was I gonna say? But yeah, I think I also agree with like some random ass songs where it just like starts shredding and has like some insane solo. Um, and I think just like at its heart, this album is just two guys that were like I don't know in high school or graduated high school, and they're just fucking around and put it to a tape recorder and released it.
Yeah. Do you have favorite tracks
Oh yeah.
to highlight?
I think
Any of
You
your
Fucked Up is
favorites?
one of their best openers. It's just really crazy, and they're screaming the entire time, so I really like that. I think that on this exact listen, Cold and Wet, I didn't like it, but for some reason, Diener just like fucking shreds at the end of the
Yep.
song, and that was insane to
Yep.
me. Um, Nan, I liked. Let Me Lick Your LMLYP is pretty good.
This
Um,
song is
I think my favorite actually is Don't
minor.
Laugh, I Love You.
Yep.
Kind of sounds like he's Cartman singing on the song, but I actually think it's just like a really, really good written song and like super catchy and kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like a kid that's like singing to their parent or whatever, so it's kind of like endearing in that sense. Up until the ending of the song where it's just like blown out noises for like 30 seconds straight.
Like that. Yep. It's awesome. I love it. Never
And then
change.
Marlip Tulip Juicy Tree. I really love that song too. I think that one's just like a really good hook. And then Puffy Cloud. That's all I love that song too. I think that's like another beautiful song that's just like really fun to listen to, even though that one's like
It's so
I
sad.
can completely
It's
understand why people hate it because they're just like playing with like a guitar and kind of laughing and singing over it, but I really like that song.
yeah. Uh, I feel like some other highlights that were not brought up already. Kick, which is just like a hardcore song. Because I believe both, I think both band members were in like hardcore bands, and like metal bands at different times, like leading or during this period on the side. So this is a very punk album, honestly, especially the first half.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like hardcore tracks, like "You Fucked Up," "Tick," which I love "Tick" so much. Um,
I'm in
and
the mood to move, god
I was
damn
gonna
it.
say that song is so funny. Like even though it's not really a good song, it's also hilarious. So I love it.
Oh, what is it? There's also like so many songs just like reference like squelching and squealing and weasel. There's like 3 or 4
Yep,
songs that I always
yep.
confuse with each other because they have
I
like the
got the
same name.
weasel and then squelch the weasel.
And then there's Never Squeal.
Never
I feel like that
squeal,
one I
which
get
I hate.
confused too. Yeah, like those 3, I'm like,
Uh,
oh fuck, are we gonna talk about El Camino?
do we have to? I don't
You
know.
know, Ween gets a little racist here and there, and that's one of them for sure.
I would say Blackjack is probably
Blackjack is
the
pretty
worst.
fucking bad, dude. That's
It's
the worst song.
it's 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 a rough. It's the low point, I think.
Agreed.
Uh, yeah, but fucking what else? What else? Old Queen Pole, awesome. Uh,
You get Boobnishore and Up
and
on the Hill.
yeah, we do. And that song is has grown on me.
You sick fuck. I said the one
uh,
after that, Wayne's Pet Youngin. I kind of
oh,
reminds me of early
awesome.
King Gizzard.
I thank you for reminding me that I feel the exact same way. They also said that they wrote that song when they were 12. So the Ween lore goes back a long time. Yeah. Oh God, it's so good. It's so good.
I think it's pretty good.
There's also yeah, sometimes th- aside from the racism, they also I think on this album I would say flirt with misogyny a bit.
Yeah.
Like uh Common Bitch definitely leans in that direction. You fucked up a little bit. Uh, I think they're like playing characters on like Stacy and Nan, where it's not really like themselves. Like Nan is from the perspective of Eddie Dingle, a recurring character.
Eddie Dingle.
But then Hippie Smell is just like coming from a pretty misogynistic tone, but also it's a fun song.
I think Birthday Boy is like a fan favorite, which I never really understood.
Oh, Birthday Boy is probably my favorite on the album.
Okay,
That
well,
song's so fucking good.
well,
Birthday Boy, Mushroom Festival in Hell, Don't Laugh, I Love You, and Tick are my top tracks
damn.
on this. It's just so blown out and distorted. That guitar is like crack. It's so fun to listen to. And then also it's like actually a very personal and touching song, which isn't common on this album.
Mm.
Even Don't Laugh I Love You ends with a bunch of like joke stuff, but Birthday Boy is just like a song for like someone you love, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
Do we have a final thought?
I don't know. I I've really struggled with where I want to put
I
the
know
Brown
exactly where
album.
I want to put him. I know
Okay.
exactly.
Where do you want Godwin Satan to
Okay.
go?
I truly just comparing it to their other albums because
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to all of them. I think it's an A. I think it's awesome sound.
Okay. Okay. I'm
Okay.
I'm good
Yeah.
with A.
Okay.
I'm good with A. I'm good with A.
Awesome.
I think in my head I had two different ideas of where to put it, and it was either S or A.
Mhm.
So I'm good with the A version. Oh,
She got on my wing
oh
till I
God.
Satan the oneness. All right. The next album.
You get to
I
talk
get to
about
talk about it.
your favorite album of all time.
One of the favorites. All right. The Pod. I don't even know where to begin with this album. It's I'll say my experience with it. I remember Max was telling me that I listened to Chocolate and Cheese for my first Ween album. I'm like, oh, this is really good, and he's like, you should listen to The Pod. And I'm like, okay. I listened to the first song. I don't even know if I finished it, but I was just like, this is fucking horrible. I was like, I don't want to listen to this shit at all. Chris said I'm leaving the stream now. I was like, I don't want to do it. So then I think I ended up listening to like the Mollusk or some other ones where I'm like, I'm not listening to that shit. Fuck that. Some time passed. Max and I hung out again, and he's like, oh, they have like this one song called Posado where they're just like doing it over. I'm like, there's no way. And then we listened to it in the car, and I was just laughing my ass off the whole time. I was just like, there's no fucking way they made this into a song. That's crazy. And I think I listened to some other albums, and I'm like, all right, time to give the Pod another chance, I guess. And I listened to it. I went all the way through, and I was like, yeah, no, this album fucking sucks. I was like, this is really bad. And I was like, okay, I guess I gotta listen to it again. And I was just like, I didn't like anything. I was like, this shouldn't exist. It's like just ass. I listened to it a second time. And I don't know what the fuck happened. The second time listening to the Pod, everything made sense in my life, you know? It was, all the horrible things that I hated, I kind of ended up loving, and it's just, like, really weird. I truly feel like there's, like, no other album that, like, rewards more for, like, listening to it multiple times. It's just an album that shouldn't exist, you know? It shouldn't have been made. I don't know why it got made. They put it out. It's none of it should work, and yet it somehow does. I don't know what is wrong with me. It's this entire album is so fucking awesome. I was like, I don't even know what I can say. Like, I don't know why it appeals to me so much. I don't know if it's like the lore behind it, all the random shit they have. So the lore is that I think they took some other demos from some of their other works and then kind of put them together. But the whole thing, I guess, is that both Dean and Gene got mono when they were recording this album. And I think they did it in like 2 weeks or whatever. And you can like literally, they made it in their apartment that's called The Pod. So this entire album was made in an apartment. And then they ended up like saying some lies, how they were huffing Scotch Guard the whole time while making the album. And then I guess people started doing that in real life. So they had to make a statement to not fucking do that. But I think genuinely, for me, the reason why I enjoy it so much, I almost feel like I feel like this album's on like the same level of how like people appreciate like Daniel Johnston and kind of like lo-fi like rock music. I think if that's more of like not folk but like kind of like lo-fi really stripped back songs, this is almost like the birth of like bedroom rock almost. Like it's like this is it's just like so lo-fi you can like tell that people just like just threw shit together, and I feel like it was like the first of its kind where it's like, yes, it's similar to Daniel Johnston, but this is more like rock and guitar oriented, but it's still like, you know, they use a drum machine on like every single song, and it's like it's almost like anybody could have made this album, yet nobody did except for Ween up until this point. And I think that might be why I appreciate it so much.
It's a crazy album. I don't know. I think I went into it having knowledge of what I was getting into and some expectations, and also having just listened to Godwin Satan. So my first listen, I didn't hate it. My first listen, I was like, okay, this is messy, but I see the appeal. And then my second listen, I was like, oh, okay, I'm finding myself really enjoying a lot of these tracks, and then some of these kind of suck. I don't know. And then I think my third listen, it felt profound. It felt like it meant something to me, and I did not understand why. I was like, I love this album. Everything makes sense. Like, I'm in on the joke. I'm there. It's a concept album. I get it.
It's a concept
Like,
album.
it is a concept album. It's crazy that it's a concept
I remember I
album.
told you that, and you're like, "There's no fucking way."
I didn't believe it, and now I'm like, yeah, no, it's a great concept.
And what you
album,
got to like,
actually.
you got to pork roll, egg and cheese. And you're like, "Is this the crux of the album? Is this what
It
it's
is.
all about?"
It is.
They
it
like
is.
hint at pork
That's
roll,
what
egg
it's
and
all
cheese
about.
the entire
It's pork
album,
roll,
like
egg and
all the way
cheese.
through. And then it finally gets to it, and it's like, I'll say it's the best song on the album for me.
Oh man, I think "Oh My Dear Falling in Love" is
Sounds
probably
really good.
the best for me.
I almost feel like
Or Dr. Rock. Oh my god,
with
Dr.
the
Rock
pot, it's
is
almost like
so fucking
there's like
fun.
certain sounds or noises that I heard listening to it. I'm like, this is fucking horrible. Why'd they put this on the album? And then I come back and I'm like, that's like my favorite part of the song. Like, I think like what is it, Molly? They have like this really annoying like almost snare sound that sounds like a fart. It's like boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom, like
it
the entire
sucks.
song, and I
sucks
fucking
so
love
much.
it. I love that so much. And then it's like, and then they Molly, 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 Molly. It's like an annoying song, but it's almost like I feel like it has the same appeal to me that like Piss Piss does from Death Grips. Like I know it's annoying, but it gets stuck in my head, and I can't stop listening.
I think the first 12, yeah, the first 12 tracks, like that first half, pretty much, is like is incredible. Is so fucking good. And then I think it kind of gets more like focused on bits and like silliness in the second half until the very end. And it's still fun and it's still good, but I don't think like it doesn't hit the same way in the second half for me. But God, it's the most Brown album of all time. It's so this is the Brown sound for sure. Also shouted out by Aphex Twin as
Yep.
one of his favorite albums. He said he loves everything Ween has done. This was in 1997. He's like, I love everything Ween's done, but the Pod and Pure Guava are like some of my favorites.
He put the Pod and Pure Guava, 2 albums in his top 10 albums of all time.
Yeah, it was like
That's crazy.
It was in an
Not
interview. I
even
found
one,
the
but 2 of
interview. I have the
them.
link. It's awesome. So it just has such a charm to it. I think it's very charming. It's really dirty and messy in the way it sounds. It's so like low effort, but it's like doing. It's like a brilliant artist, kind of like just having a fun time and not putting too much, not trying too hard, and just coming out with something that is very enjoyable. Dr. Rock is not the only good song, Krish.
Dr. Rock!
Dr. Rock is just like the easiest to listen to, probably.
Yeah.
But
I think another part is like, I feel like even with some of my friends, like we would just like send like some of the lyrics to each other, like, when I know Rico and I would get on a call, it'd be like, Frank, give me a pork roll, egg, and cheese, if you please.
no.
And then like he'll call me sometimes and be like, what is the pollo asado? And usually have one of us like finish the other side. Like I don't know. There's like it's like peak brain rot.
It is like peak brain rot. I think Ween would have done really well on. They would have been all-time posters.
Sketches of Winkle's another really great song, I think.
Sketches. Yeah, let's see. I Dr. Rock, Frank, Sorry Charlie, The Stallion Part 1, Pollo Asado, Right to the Ways.
That's Right to the Ways of the Rules is the only one I don't really like.
Really? That's one of my favorites.
And I think it's because
so
it sounds like the Mollusk a little bit.
We're just gonna ignore that you said that. Captain Fantasy.
Captain
Goated.
Fantasy is fucking awesome.
Oh wait, Demon Sweat might actually be the best song on this album.
Really?
Demon Sweat is
I like it.
it's so creative. It's like, yeah, it feels less low effort than the rest. It's like, what if we tried really hard to make something good with like these absolutely garbage equipment that we're using, and it has just like maybe the best Ween guitar solo. Second best Ween
Second
guitar
best.
solo. Yeah.
Also, was it
Can You Taste the Waste is awesome. Don't Sweat, it's awesome.
awesome sound is
There's a lot of
awesome.
sweat. There's a lot of themes that come through that are like related to the backstory of like being sick with mononucleosis and like feverish
Hmm.
and sweating. Like they talk about sweat a lot. They talk about like pork roll, egg and cheese a lot
They
because
talk
I'm
about
sure that
Mean
they were
Ween.
fucking eating all the time. Yeah, they talk about their bassist. They only talked about him once though
Yeah.
on Sketches of Winkle.
But he's on the album cover,
Yes,
which
with
is just a
the
fucking Leonard Cohen greatest hits album that they just altered to have it look like Ween the Pod.
it's so awesome.
I was gonna say on Laura, it's like I feel like the ending of that song is unreal, and it almost like reminds me of a bunch of the fucking indie rock music that was coming out in like the 2010s, kind of like Mac
Yeah,
DeMarco, kind of stuff like that, which is just
yeah.
crazy that it was like that exact sound 20 years before it got popularized.
This album is I think a little ahead of its time for sure. It's a timeless classic, honestly. Uh,
It was lo-fi before it was cool.
yeah, yeah. It also introduces the character of the stallion.
The Stallion. I'm the Stallion, bang.
Such a good bit. I think it's also less like I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting some things, but this might be the least problematic Ween release. Like, is that accurate?
Um,
I don't know. I'm just like I
Probably. I
can't.
think the only song where it's just like she fucks me, but that's not even that. Yeah, probably. Probably the least
Yeah,
problematic though.
yeah.
Maybe La
I,
Cucaracha is less problematic, but oh wait, no, never mind. It's definitely not. Definitely not.
okay,
Never mind.
we'll see. Yeah, it's ah, I do love it. It's also just like not as good as God Weed Satan.
Damn, that's okay to be wrong, Aiden.
It's not. I'm sorry. It's worse. It's the problem. I really enjoy it, but I just can't put it like they're kind of tied for me,
Okay.
really. So I would also want to put it in A tier.
Damn. Well, you get the final say. Mine would go in S, so
All right, can we put both of them in S then?
we're gonna we'll do that for now, and then we'll come back. Cause we might have a fuck ton of shit in S.
We'll see. We'll
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's really fun. It broke my brain. I
Mhm.
also wrote I wrote like full like music journalism style reviews
Oh my god.
of the first two.
Yeah.
And then I started on Pure Guavas, and then I think I got distracted, and then I haven't come back. I'm going to write a
Awesome.
review for all of them, so I
Awesome.
will publish them somewhere. But
Awesome.
I'll send you the Godwin Satan and the Pod review
Awesome.
because I think I cooked with those. Oh God, wait! I have to talk about Pure Guava.
The next one.
So in the like Ween lore, the meaning of guava is open to interpretation. But my own personal take is that it's like you think of the feeling and like the image of a guava and biting into a guava and like what it is. I think it represents pleasure, essentially. It's all about like something that at a base human level is enjoyable. So this album is not accurately titled because it is a mix of some of the best and some of the worst shit from the Brown era. Like,
Yeah.
it's not as cohesive or like fun
No.
throughout as the pod, and I think it's just not as consistent
And
in
what I think is
quality.
funny, I feel like the other ones were like more of like compilation albums. I think this was the one where they're like started making new stuff and then tried throwing it together, and it almost feels like it's less like put
This
together.
was also a compilation.
Okay,
to
okay.
some extent. It was a mix of like stuff they already had and then stuff they
Mm,
re-recorded, I believe,
mm.
because this is their major label debut where they like got
Oh
their
god.
previous two had been kind of successful, so they got signed to
They got
Elektra.
put on
And
MTV.
they're like, oh fuck, we got to put this shit together.
Was it really
Uh,
Pure Guava they were on Electra?
I believe so. Because it's not their first studio. This is still not a
Dear
studio.
God, it was. It was.
But
It
yeah,
was
this is
released by Electra.
their major label debut, which is incredible. That's so like cool.
Imagine a
Uh,
record label hearing the pod and they'd be like, "We need to sign them."
yeah, I. But then it has just some of the most like absolute fucking garbage. But uh I think the best songs on Pure Guava are the best of the Brown era, and then the worst are like kind of down there with the
I
worst
think,
of
yeah.
Godwin
Yeah.
Satan. Like I think the
Minus,
Stallion
minus
Part
pork roll, egg
3,
and cheese.
yeah, the Stallion Part 3, Push the Little Daisies, Sarah. Uh, I won't say that that's up there, but it's one of my favorites. Uh, Don't Get Too Close to My Fantasy. Get Too Close to My Fantasy might be my favorite song of the 5 that we listened to.
Dang.
That song is so fucking good. I
It's
got
just
high
David
and
Bowie.
listened
It's just
to it
David
for
Bowie.
like 40 minutes straight.
It's just David Bowie.
It's but it's more
Ziggy
than that.
Stardust and the Spiders of Mars, done by Ween.
But it's also it's got
It's
its
still
own
really
meaning.
good.
It's that style for sure, but
Mhm.
it's a little lighter. It's more tongue in cheek. It's so silly. It's like, but it's also beautiful. I don't know. Also, Push the Little Daisies is peak. Radio hit in the '90s. Confirmed by my father when I played it, and he's like, "I haven't heard this song in forever," which is crazy, and really cool. Yeah, I don't know.
My
I
thoughts?
yeah. I guess I want to know what you think.
This is the only Brown album I don't really like that much, so I kind of agree with you. It doesn't have, I don't know, it doesn't have the same essence to it. It's just kind of like you get I was like really excited. I think this was the last one I actually ended up. No, that was La Cucaracha. This is the second to last album I think I ended up listening to when I first checked out Ween, and I was like, come on, like they had Godwin Satan in the pod, like this is gonna be awesome as well. And then I listened to it, and I was a bit disappointed. Like I said, I think there's like some songs that are pretty good, and the other ones that I just like don't care about a lot. For whatever reason, though, this time I listened to it, Big Jim got stuck in my head for like a week straight, and I just like kept singing that one part. And even then, it was like I still don't even like think I like it that much more. It just got stuck in my head.
Yeah,
For a
it's
week.
really obnoxious. It's an earworm for sure.
What else? I think I liked the reggae song.
Oh, right, that's one way to put
Lore.
it. That's yeah, the lore. There's a lot of lore. Because this album was baffling to me, so I spent a lot of time learning about it.
I think what is it? Spring Theme. I really like that one.
Song's
I think
great.
that one's just like
It's really cute.
really weird.
Can I kiss you on the boob? It's so funny.
They're like so like I saw Gina crying in his sleep. Like some of the songs almost just like actually sound annoying. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
that's
not
fun.
annoying and like good. Like it's I'm like I don't want to
Yeah.
listen to this again.
Yeah,
Flies on My Dick.
I kind of like that song.
Okay, I don't really like that one.
I expected it to be terrible, but
And then what should we talk about Morning Glory?
we should spend an hour talking about
Morning
Morning
Glory.
Glory.
I feel like for me normally when there's like it's like I can't get into an artist where most of their music kind of sounds like
Yeah.
drone almost, or like kind
Yeah.
of like that. But for whatever reason, when it's like this one random song on this album that's just it's like sticks out almost, I really like it, and I don't know why. It's just like
Fucking
really
pure
crazy.
noise.
Yeah.
It is. It's like
And it
the
works for me where it
world's
doesn't
best
work for like any
shoegaze.
other artist. Not even shoegaze.
No, I would qualify this as like a noise,
It's a
shoegaze
noise
track.
song. I don't think it's shoegaze.
It's got shoegaze elements for
Alright.
sure. It's yeah. I think that Ween could make the world's best shoegaze album after
Dear
hearing
God.
Morning Glory. It's like one of my favorite things they've ever done. It's so fucking awesome. The lyrics
I
are
literally feel like it only
insane,
works because
too.
it's Ween.
I don't know. I think I would enjoy this sound no matter what, but I just
I mean, if it's an entire album worth, I think I would just be like, I don't want to listen to that. You know?
yeah, well, I think it would need to be varying degrees and
Yeah.
like trying different things. But yeah, the fact that it is just its own little piece of the album that just sticks out as like this colossally loud and long, like droning, distorted, but also kind of bright. Like the guitar playing in it is really pretty. It's just insane and like really off time. And then the like drum beat is like it sounds bass boosted. It's just insane. And then there's just a rambling story about three little pumpkins who go into the woods and meet this angry guy with a big head. He's really little, and he just screams at the pumpkins, and then they get really sad about it, and they're like, why would he do that? Why would he say that to us? And then they're just sad, and then that's the end of the song, and I'm like, wow, this is
It's awesome.
yeah, it's awesome. Oh, I love that song so much. Yeah, and then they have just their worst garbage that they've like ever released, honestly, to this point. Like, uh, fucking "Pumpin' for the Man," worst aged Ween song. No, second
It's pretty
worst
bad.
aged
They
Ween
say the F
song.
slur in it.
They say the song is a minute 30, and they say it every 30 seconds, so they got 2 per minute. Fun statistic for you there. And then "Hey Fat Boy Asshole" sucks so much. Honestly, those might be just the two that are. I play it off legit. It's just a bad bit. It's like not funny, but it's also not like if it was funny, it would be fine.
My one note for that song is ass.
Yeah, it goes on way too long, and it's only like 3 minutes. "Touch My Tutor" is just whatever. I kind of like "Loving You Through It All." And then "Poop Ship Destroyer" is actually an important song with lore to
Oh
it.
no.
It is known as the punishment song because when Ween was touring in this era, they would close out sets with "Poop Ship Destroyer," and if they would do like a fun short version of it or like a silly like more like hype version of it, if it was a good crowd, and if it wasn't a good crowd, apparently they would play it for like 20 to 30 minutes of just nonstop "Poop Ship Destroyer," which is awesome,
That's
and
crazy.
makes me kind of love it.
That's
And I
crazy.
did listen to the full live version that is 30 minutes, and it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't good either. But I'm like, if this was live, I would be enjoying myself thoroughly. So I'm like, I'm being trolled, but also, big heavy guitar. It doesn't sound shitty live.
Yeah.
It sounds like heavy, so it's pretty fun. Um, and then, did you mention the lore for Junkie Jew, or just mention that it
Yeah,
had lore?
it's about a guy that they really hated.
Yeah.
He was all three of the words.
Yeah, he was a Rastafarian heroin junkie who was like also Jewish, uh, and he stole one of their girlfriends.
That's
That is
awesome.
the band's explanation. The live version of it, where like he prefaces the song and explains it, is like pretty funny, honestly.
God.
Let's see. Yeah, so overall, I'm like, this album grew on me the more I learned more of the lore. Like, at first, I was like, this is just kind of bad, but then it has really, really good highlights. It starts off really strong, ends ends really strong with the last two, kind of.
I
I
think
don't
for
know.
me, it starts off mid, it starts getting better, then it gets pretty bad, and then it gets a little better again.
I think you have this lower than me then,
I probably
because I
do.
feel like I originally had all three of the Brown albums in A,
Oh.
with this one being in the end,
Hmm.
like in order of release. So I
I
feel like putting it in A for now is fine, but we might do
you
some
fuck. Yeah,
adjustments.
I would have definitely had it in B. So
I think it's fair to put it in B, but I'm just like the good songs that like its highlights, its peaks are so fucking good.
but there's like two peaks.
No, no, there's so many.
Alright, alright.
There's the Stallion Part 3, then Push the Little Daisies, then Sarah, then Morning Glory, then Don't Get Too Close to My Fantasy. Like all of those songs are potentially better than anything on either of the previous two, or like up there with the like songs on that level for me of enjoyment. I think there's like
Yeah.
two or three on uh God Ween Satan, and then two or three
Diener tier, not gonna lie.
on the pod.
I take that
Diener
back.
Tier's
Captain Fantasy tier.
brutal. No way. Okay, well it's maybe it'll get moved down as we listen to the rest of the discography and do our adjustments.
Alright, moving to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I get to talk about it.
You do.
Alright.
You do.
Chocolate and cheese. This is the
Okay,
first
fine.
Ween album I listened to that got me into Ween. Um, I remember I think people just said the most was really good, and I tried listening to it a couple times, and it wasn't clicking with me. So then years later, I was like, all right, let's listen to Chocolate and Cheese. I don't even remember why I wanted to. I don't know what happened, but I decided to listen to it, and I was kind of like, what the fuck is this band? I was like, what the actual like I listened to it once, I'm like, I don't know, there's like some weird stuff, and then I just like kept listening to it over and over again. Um and I really liked, I think it was like so weird to me because I heard like I like bands that have like different genres, or it's like an album's like a different genre, but it was like wild to me that they would like fit a bunch of different genres into one album. I was like, how is that even gonna work? We might be one of the only bands in the world to make that work. um
The genre
so
is alternative, jaw. Come on, stick
all
to
right,
the
all right, all
script.
right, all right. You know, alternative can be anything. So,
Yeah,
um,
as long as it's a little weird.
yeah. Um, and I think listen, there's like not a single bad song I think on this album. Maybe did I? There's not a single song that I don't like. Some I definitely like a lot more
Yeah.
than others, but I think I was just kind of like, this is crazy. Like 16 songs. Um, I don't really think there's like that much of a low on the album. So many of the songs are just like so fun and kind of, I'm just like, I'm surprised that they made some of these songs and how it still kind of flowed even though they sounded really weird. So I feel like this might be like, honestly I'd probably recommend, if you want to get into Ween, this might be the one to check out first. I feel like it kind of explores a lot of their styles, and I also feel like this is their first studio album, so it's like they actually were able to record it on higher fidelity and kind of expand to probably a wider audience when it doesn't hurt to listen to sometimes. We can probably go over individual songs after if you have thoughts.
Okay, yeah. I do have thoughts. This was also my intro to Ween. This was also the first album I listened to, and I know why I listened to it. It was because when I was still following Anthony Fantano closely, he during Classics Week, which is the first week of the new year where he reviews classic albums. He did a chocolate and cheese review, and I was like, interesting. I know of Ween. I know they're like the SpongeBob band. I didn't know they had like a classic album. I always thought of them as kind of like a little like
One Hit Wonder.
yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, they're the Ocean Man band. So I listened to this and I was like, whoa, I've never heard anything that just like does a bunch of random shit, but also is still sequenced really well and like flows. Like this album is so much more high effort and like cleaner than anything before. Like it is quality wise leagues above.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't know if I agree that it doesn't have a low point because I think the low point is like Candy into Buenos Tardes Amigo into
I've
the
listened to this
HIV.
album so many times now. It's like I don't know.
I've-
Buenos Tardes
I
actually
like-
grew on me this time.
I like
I
that
never
song.
thought it would.
It's just that it's so out of left field compared to everything else, and it's surrounded by Candy, which is
I love
kind of
Candy.
a troll song. It's fun, and then the HIV song, which is also
I fucking love the
troll
HIV
song.
song. I fucking love the HIV song. I don't know what it is. I think the first time I'm like, this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard, and then I listened to it a lot.
yeah. I kind of hated it, and then I loved it, and then I hated it again, and then now I'm back to like liking it. But I just think that that run of 3 is more like novelty
Mm.
based, where it's kind of like it's a little bit of a more niche thing that doesn't fit in with the rest of the album. Other than that, it's like genuinely a perfect album. I think.
What was it? I remember looking up like why they made the HIV song,
Mhm.
and I guess somebody just asked them, and they were like, "Oh, what's." I don't know what was brought up, but they basically end up saying the only thing they fear in this world is HIV or something. They just didn't want to get AIDS or HIV, and I guess
they were
that
very
was
scared. It is fueled by fear. Like they didn't know how to like tackle it and handle it. So
they just made a song where they just say HIV and AIDS and nothing else.
yeah, over circus music, which I have heard. Like I was reading an article a little bit about it and like the legacy of this album and part of it was that song and I think there was this like lecturer um on like HIV who would open her lectures with that song to kind of like break the tension to get people to be more comfortable talking about like just the horrors of it at a time where any song that was about HIV coverage of AIDS was either like horrible fear mongering or like tragedy. There wasn't anything that was like, hey, let's just talk about this and or like joking about it. And I don't know if Ween was exactly the right people to do that. I don't know. Like I wasn't around at the time and I totally would understand why like this would rub people the wrong way, but I also know that there were people who like it meant a lot for and was good for. So I think I stand by it. I was worried it like it was just awful and just meant to be edgy and bad, but thankfully not. Yeah.
I have another thing. I think I remember I think one of the moments when the album clicked for me. I think a lot of the times that I really love with Ween is they'll like have like some random like sound or noise that's like kind of like fully unique to the song itself. And I'm like, oh, that's just like it's like the one like I feel like they find an effect they really like, and then they kind of like add it to like one of their songs, so they like really stick out, but I remember listening to Mr. Would You Please Help My Pony. Um, there's one guitar effect they use, and it's this really like high pitched squealing sound noise. And I remember hearing it, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. Cause back in like high school, I ended up getting like a whammy pedal, and there was a certain set. Basically, you boost the whammy pedal all the way up, and then you add like a chorus effect to it. It just gives like this really like ear piercing sound that was like really bad and horrible. And I remember like in my band like kind of playing it. I'm like this is so fucking funny. Like it just sounds horrible. There's like no way this could be used in any song at all. And then I listened to Mr. Would You Please Help Me Pony, and they fucking use that same exact effect that I was like, there's no way this is usable. So there was, it was like opening my eyes. I'm like, there's no way. I think it's like even further down the line, there's like random Ween songs where I'm like, I know exactly what instrument and what sound they're using, and it's funny because I can like pick it out. So that was one that like really got me into that, because I would have never thought it would have been possible to use that the blasted out effects of the whammy pedal, and they ended up using it in that song.
Should we get into more of
The songs.
Specific
Alright.
songs? Because
Alright.
I feel like, this was just well, I don't know. Did we even talk? We said this is the first studio album. Yeah, just recorded.
Was it Chocolate and Cheese? Was I think it sounded like British people said something chalk and cheese or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess it was some sort of phrase or idiom that they use, but when British people say it, I guess it sounds like chocolate and cheese. So they ended up using that name for the album as like a. I think chalk and cheese is like it was something like there's like an assortment or like different things. It meant to say like
It means two things that like couldn't be any more different. Like it's like, oh, that's like chalk and cheese. Like,
that's chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
So that like that album name is like very fitting. I feel like it's like, oh, we have a bunch of different genres.
Yeah.
Fucking around. None of these songs should be put together yet. Here they are.
And somehow they flow
works.
well, and it works. And yeah, they I think this album cover, which is iconic, was also voted like sexiest album cover
so
of
funny.
either of all time or like of the 90s by like
Ween.
Playboy magazine.
Have you seen the back album cover?
No. Oh no.
It's just like the back.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Yeah. This album is quite good. There was something that I had to mention, but I cannot think of. Oh, it does have actually one song that has aged pretty poorly, I think.
Which one?
I can't put my finger on it.
It's about falafel.
Yeah, well, it's kind of more just like
Yeah.
Ween's like classic songwriting of some kind of like evocative nonsense type lyrics.
When they play it live, it's kind of fucked.
He does like a full like he's trying to do a Middle Eastern accent, and he puts on like clothes, and
That's pretty bad.
They put on a video of like a shawarma roll in the background. They would hire like a belly dancer. That's fucked.
That's
It's
fucked.
fucked. Like, come on, guys, come on.
The solo bangs though.
The solo does bang. It's like if I did, because I didn't clock that that's what it was supposed to be until this revisit. And if I didn't know that, I was just always like, what is this impression? And now that I know what it is, I'm like, oh, that sucks actually. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, somehow the like Buenos Tardes Amigo was inspired by a Sesame Street Spanish lesson. So that's actually awesome. And
I have a
very cool.
note. I was like, this is Eyes Like the Sky before Eyes Like the Sky.
If Eyes Like the Sky was good. That's kind of accurate. They also have good bits throughout the album too. Like, it's funny It has the classic Ween insanity. That's what I was gonna say. Like, having heard the Brown era before re-listening to this album really like made it click in a new way for me, where before it had taken me a lot of listens where I'm like, oh, I really like some of these songs, but it felt weird. The album just made me kind of uncomfortable because it's all over the place, and this is when I listened in high school, and then eventually I just listened so much, and like I loved it regardless. But now, having listened to the whole Brown era, it all made sense. Like, it makes sense
This
that
is
they would come
exactly where
from
they would
that
go.
into this. And I'm like, oh, that's why everything is so weird. But it's just better. It's exploring the same type of songwriting, but just doing it in a more, I think, listenable way in general. Yeah, do you have, okay, track highlights now.
Take Me Away. I think it's like one of their best openers, and I gave it like
I
a
agree.
9. Yeah, and I remember not liking it. I feel like the ending of like Don't Shit Where You Eat, and like that kind of like soft like kind of ending like do 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 do,
Mhm.
and it's like kind of more of like the acoustic stuff, and then it just goes into like the drum fill like
Like an Elvis parody.
yeah, and I'm like this song just fucking rips.
It's so awesome.
I love it. And then what is it? Spinal Meningitis. That song's fucked. And like it's so weird sounding, but I also really like it. And I don't know why they do like the panning on like the really weird like noises and everything. And they have like the kind of like the drum. I think they still use the drum machine on some of the tracks. Like that one. They have like this one like kind of like choom, like it's like the snare like slides like or like pans left and right, like left to right or something. Um so I really like that one. But I
Yeah.
think my favorite song by far, and I think also just like my favorite Ween song ever, is Roses Are Free.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's like a perfect song. The song structure, the way all the instruments sound, the fucking guitar solo in the middle of it, it's just like it's awesome. Like it's kind of like funny because they're like doing like the little weird thing at first, like do 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 do,
Yeah.
and then you just hear like that ripping like the the bend that they have in the guitar, and then they have that whole solo, and then it all comes back, and they have another like chorus or verse, but then they include that like guitar part in it. And I just think it's just a perfect song.
Yeah, I agree. It's a perfect song. I think it's one of the best Ween songs. Definitely the best one from these first four. It's also my favorite on the album. I love it so much. That song is like a big reason why I kept coming back to this album when I first listened to it. Cause I'm like, holy shit, this is so like fun, but also kind of eerie and like scary, like in a way, lyrically. I think.
And they have like the bouncing like keys almost too.
Yeah. That's such an incredible song. Songs that really, I think, grew on me on this listen. Um, Baby Bitch, because I was like, oh, is this like?
It's a sequel to
I
Birthday Boy.
It is a sequel to. Well, it references Birthday Boy because it's about the same person,
Hmm.
but it's I think yeah, knowing the story behind it like made me appreciate it more, and understand more of like why it's such a hateful kind of song, like, and yeah, A Tear for Eddie. When I saw it, when I saw that like title on this revisit, I was like, oh my god, is this about Eddie Dingle? Is this the recurring character? Um, it is not. It is it's for the lead guitarist of Parliament and Funkadelic, who's like one of the greatest guitarists of all time, who like passed, I think, while they were making this album. So, and it's just 5 minutes of like peak guitar work. So that song is now absolutely a highlight for me. And it made me re listen to Maggot Brain, which
Oh
for
yeah.
anyone who has not listened to Maggot Brain, that is one of the best albums of all time, I think. Like solidly. Uh let's see what else. Drifter in the Dark is just really fun to sing
I feel like
along
it kind of
to.
reminds me of like a Tally Hall song or like one of their side projects.
Drifter in the Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. Voodoo Lady, honestly, for a while I felt like it was the most overrated Ween
Really?
song.
That's one of Chris's favorites.
I like it. I like it more now, but I still think it's slightly overrated. Like it's not the best song on this album.
No, yeah.
It's yeah.
I like it, but yeah,
Um,
Birds Are Free is
yeah,
peak.
yeah. What Diener was talking about, I learned what that song is about, which is like Diener has very acute anxiety, like
Mhm.
really, really bad anxiety, and uh, Gene Ween had like a moment of an anxiety attack and was like, "Whoa, like this is the feeling that Dean experiences," like, and wrote this song out of that experience as like a moment of empathy, and I'm like, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's a great album. Oh, and then Freedom of 76, which I think might be my second favorite song on
Damn.
the album.
Sounds
I
pretty
don't
good.
even just go Birds. Birds won today. That's just the Philadelphia anthem, you know.
Yeah. But I also feel like this is one of the only albums that I've listened to where I'm like, I don't think there's a single bad track. Like it took me. I used to not like Buenos Aires, and I'm like, okay, that's the one bad track, and I think now I'm like, I don't think there's a single bad one for me.
I definitely don't think there's a single like clear bad one. I have days of liking Candy and days of not liking it, but all of these songs are in my liked songs for sure. So yeah, um, this is for sure
Top
peak
of
so
S.
far.
Top of S.
Top of S, and we move everything down a tier. It's so much better. Like they deserve their time in the sun, but yeah, it's not close. Sorry, Krish. When I hear Freedom of 76, I become an Eagles fan.
God. All right. The fifth album.
Oh my God, this is where we're stopping it after this. That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
And it's me.
12 Golden
believe.
Country Greats. It is you.
This album is one good bit. The whole thing is just a good bit. It's the fact that it's called 12 Golden Country Greats and it's 10 songs is
Hilarious.
fucking hilarious. It's also the only Ween genre album where they just made a country record, and they explored so many different styles of country. They explored them pretty thoroughly. It's so listenable from front to back. It's nice and short too. It's the shortest one. Like it was their shortest record to date. It is also aged so fucking bad. This thing is so problematic. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Do you know why it came
Come
out?
on.
Do you know what happened? So they were recording the
No,
mollusk.
I don't know.
They were
This is
recording the
short.
mollusk, and they were like a good chunk, like maybe a third into it, and then I think it was something like wherever they were recording, it got flooded. All their shit got destroyed. They like lost all the tracks and everything.
Oh no.
And so they're like, all right, we're gonna come back to the mollusk. Let's make a country album.
That's awesome.
So they made the fucking country album because they lost like all their progress on the mollusk, which I think makes it make a lot more fucking sense going
It does,
going to the
yeah.
country album after Chocolate and Cheese.
Yeah. That's kind of all I have to say on it. It's just like that it's really fucking listenable and fun, and also it's just like infuriatingly problematic.
It's a bit that went on for too long.
Yeah, once we talk about tracks, I'll expand on
Alright.
that. But why not? Why don't you?
I think it's like it's I think yeah, again, the funniest thing ever. Oh, the one album they have that's one genre is fucking country, and they don't really go back to that sound ever again.
No, not even a little bit.
I think considering all though, like with like country albums, I think it's fine. I think it's good for a country album. Um, I think they pulled out all the tricks in the book. Like, if you're ever gonna make a country song or country like album, like doing like all the certain styles and everything, I feel like they pretty much employ every single one on this album. And for it to still sound how it is and be as good as it is, I don't know if that just says what country is compared to other genres, but
Okay, all right.
um, I think at the end of the day, I'm like, it's fine. There's some stuff I really like, and then the other stuff I'm like, I don't care. I think that's what I have to say about 12 Golden Country Greats. Another thing, I guess their reasoning for why it was 12 Golden Country Greats was, I guess they said some they used to have like other songs. I think it was originally going to be 12, and then they bumped it down to 10. There are like some singles that they didn't come out with, but they ended up saying, "Oh, they brought in like a bunch of like famous country musicians to like help on the album and fill in a lot of parts." And apparently they had 12 guests that helped. So that's why I guess they kept the 12 Golden Country Greats, because they had the 12 musicians. I don't know if I believe that.
Knowing Ween, that could be a complete fucking lie.
Yeah.
Okay. I think before going into specific tracks, I gotta defend country as a genre because I'm a big country fan. I don't know about big country fan, but I'm definitely like solidly a fan.
No,
of
I really
country.
like country, but I'm like, I don't know if there's like a single album that I'll listen to all the way through. I think there's certain songs I really like.
Oh, there's many for me. Like
old like country that sounds like this.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like this. So they're doing like very much a
Classic
genre
country.
taster of like what is surface level, or like what are the most like popular kind of types of country songs, and just distilling it down to like its most basic type of elements. But obviously you get in the genre so much more than just this. But I think that for a band that isn't they're like not country artists, they're just dipping their toes in, trying to do some fun stuff. It is really good, but I don't think it's like a peak country album for like if you are really into country. But it's very fun, and it is a good it's a good taster of like what classic or like older country has to offer. But no, generally I like newer country for sure. Yeah, so
Let's dive into the track.
tracks, yeah. I think the worst song on this album is also the most popular.
Which one?
By a lot. Piss Up a Rope.
Oh,
Fucking
I don't
hate
think
that
that's the
song.
worst one. I think it's fine. I think it's funny, and it doesn't
Unfunny.
annoy me.
It's unfunny and
You
annoying.
Piss up a rope,
It
and you
just
can
so misogynistic.
down.
It's also just my least favorite of the like little country genre type things where it's like is it a round? Would that be the like it's a square dancing type song where it's just it's so
maybe
fucking
this was
repetitive.
their they were just cosplaying a country artist with this song.
Yeah, it's not like they have a pattern of misogyny in the past at
No,
all.
no.
That song just like some parts of it are really good, and there's really fun wordplay, and
You know-
also it goes on for too long, and I hate it.
I'm sick of your mouth and your 2% milk.
Yeah, it's a banger, but then we get into fucking the really
Yeah.
awful lyrics. Yeah.
I think I do like the part where they're like, I don't need the ag on your knees. And they do like that wordplay with agony.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So that's the most popular. That's the biggest thing to come out of this album, which I think is really unfortunate. I think I'm Holding You, Japanese Cowboy, both really good. I Don't Want to Leave You on the Farm, solid. Pretty Girl,
Japanese
solid.
Cowboy and I Don't Want to Leave You on the Farm are my least favorite.
You don't like Japanese Cowboy?
I just kind of get bored.
Aw, I think it's a beautiful song. something ain't right. It's, I also wouldn't. I don't know. What is your feeling about the lyrical content of it?
Of which one?
Japanese cowboy.
I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head. I
Uh,
don't remember.
okay.
What is it?
I think it's a little like. I would say dated, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
say problematic. Yeah. Uh, but I could fully be ignorant or not really interpreting it well.
Mhm.
But just as a song, I think it's one of the most well written on the album. Pretty Girl is maybe one of the weaker ones, honestly. Um, Powder Blue
I love
is
Powder Blue.
hilarious. Powder Blue's awesome.
I think that out of all the Ween songs I listened to, I think I laughed the hardest when I heard that song the first time.
So they, it's and the worst part is that it's
It wasn't even
funny.
intentional.
No, it's not intentionally funny because it ends with now, ladies and gentlemen, Muhammad Ali, and originally there was a recording of like a Muhammad Ali like rant, like trash talk. But then because of like a legal dispute, they had to take it off the album. So
For
now it
streaming.
just says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Muhammad Ali."
Now introducing
It goes-
Muhammad Ali, and then the song ends. The first
Which
time I
is
heard
so
that,
funny.
it's like better that way.
It is better that way. But then unfortunately we get into Mr. Richard Smoker, which is the most fucked song
It's my favorite
I
song.
think maybe ever.
It's my favorite
It's
song on the album.
no, because it's the best song on the album. It's the most fun, and it's also just so fucking homophobic. It's insane.
It's pretty bad.
It's so bad. It's just despicable. Like I hate it because I wanna like
Well,
I
at least
I
at least
still
they
love
didn't
the
say an
song.
F slur this time.
Yeah, I guess it's an improvement actually. Let's actually applaud them. Nah, it's worse. I'd rather they said the F slur honestly. uh, at least in the way that they did on fucking no this is not that bad. Is it? I don't know. It's more offensive though.
I feel like
I don't
pumping for the
know.
man. It's like the F slur could have been replaced with like any other slur, and it would have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
the
yeah.
same.
They're
But it's
just
like this
saying it
one
to
is
be
just
edgy. That's what I
explicitly
mean.
like
But it is still really bad. But then this is just so like
homophobic.
derogatory in every way. I don't know, but I want to know. I didn't do enough research on this, honestly. I should have. I tried a little bit to look into it, and I just didn't see any explanation. Like they need to answer for their crimes for real.
God.
Because it could be interpreted aside from a few lines as like because it's a caricature. It's a caricature of a gay man and describing everything he does. But the sound of the song is so fun and lighthearted and playful. Where I'm like, I could view this
They're
as
just
being
doing
a
another
state
a skit.
if
They're
you
doing a
didn't
skit.
say yeah, or even just a commentary on it, like on these things being viewed as like
Doodly
bad,
babu.
but it's actually fun and okay and like shouldn't be viewed that way. But then there's just some awful lines where it's like, no, you can't view that positively. Which is just like, okay, you're just being homophobic and it's really disappointing. Uh, and it sucks because the song is so good. It's such a good song. Doodly babu.
And the ending where they do like the fucking solos on each instrument,
Hi, Phil. Yeah, that's so.
and they get like the horn section. I think I was listening to it like this kind of sounds like a Disney song a little bit.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine if Ween made a fucking soundtrack for like some Disney movie made in the 90s.
Oh, that would have been so awesome. Never would have happened though.
God.
All
I
right,
think
then we
another
have,
oh, you can keep going.
Oh no, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna skip the next song.
Oh no, I was gonna say help me scrape the mucus on my brain is another highlight for me. I'd say that's maybe maybe over the overall best song
Mm.
on the album. Not my favorite though. My favorite is I'll leave that for after what you were gonna say.
I think You Were the Fool I really love too. I think I like that one almost
Yeah.
as much as Mr. Richard Smoker.
Yeah.
I think that one's just like a good song in general.
The second half of this album is way stronger. I
Oh
think,
yeah,
for sure.
by far.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you get to Fluffy, which is my favorite song
You
on
sick
this
fuck.
album.
You sick
It's
motherfucker.
so funny. It's such a good bit. I think it's brilliant.
This is one of the few
uh,
Ween songs that slightly annoys me.
Fluffy.
Yeah.
That's honestly fair. I just love the idea of like taking the trope of like animal stories just being so insanely sad and making just the most sad sounding song, but the lyrics are all just really wholesome and about your dog that you love. I was cackling the whole time. And yeah, the delivery is
Fluffy.
just so over the top and fun. And I felt like it was a perfect closer to this frustrating and delightful album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, where would you put it?
So I have it. Oh fuck. Originally, I had it like a in between. I no, it doesn't deserve better than Pure Guava, because the best of Pure Guava is still definitely better,
Yeah.
and like the shitty stuff on.
I
I
think
feel
it's the
like
same
it kind of
tier
evens
though.
out. Yeah, I think they're the same tier. Yeah, I would put it behind, but I there's an argument for putting it ahead.
Yeah.
Honestly, uh,
I think it's like I want to go back
uh,
to some songs more on the country, but I feel like I'd rather listen to Pure Guava all the way through again than listen to 12 Country all the way through again.
see, I'd rather listen to like 12 Golden Country
Mm,
Greats all the way through again, just because it's 32 minutes,
true.
and it's like kind of no misses, to be honest. But also, it's not as interesting. It's like it's just very easy
Hmm.
and fun to put on. So they're kind of tied.
I feel like
That's
that
it.
with Ween, it's like the ones that are better, are the ones I want to listen to more again. Like
Yeah.
that might be the same for like every album, but I feel like truly like there's somewhere I'm like I just don't have a desire to come back to it as much.
I'll definitely revisit it on occasion, but yeah, it's a bit of a it's kind of a novelty record
Yeah.
to some extent. So maybe 100% a novelty record, but um
All right. The next
yeah,
episode covering the mollusk to La Cucaracha with Shinola. See, even this tier had Shinola automatically in it, so good that we're including it.
nice. Yeah, I mean you gotta. It's an important compilation album.
Agreed.
I think we'll be back pretty soon. I've
Yeah.
already listened to 3 of these. And I've already done my re-listens for
Hmm.
2 of them. So
I gotta listen to all of them, but I should be good in 5 days.
nice. I think yeah, it is a crazy 3. Let's S tier's gonna get a little bigger. And John and I might, or yeah, we might fight. We might fight.
It's gonna be a fuck next episode. Get ready. I already
I
feel like
already
there's gonna be a fight on 1. There might be a fight on 2. I really hope there isn't a fight on 2.
you already know there's gonna be a fight on 2.
Uh-oh.
I love Friends.
You are going to hell. Have you listened to that whole album yet?
No, I
Okay,
haven't. I
okay,
stopped
okay,
after.
okay,
So,
good,
so
good.
we'll see. But you might be vindicated. I might have to apologize and eat my words for saying
Crazy 3 album run for beginning of next up. That is a pretty crazy 3 album run.
it's yeah. We'll see.
This
We'll
is this
see.
is
I'm
this
not
is.
decided on my tiers yet, but
I
uh,
definitely am, but I'm gonna re-listen anyways.
yeah. And then I'm really worried about Shinola, not gonna lie. We'll see.
Be good. So yeah, next episode will be on the channel, the new one. We have like applied to
Finally.
live stream and it's like come back in 24 hours. So it
I think
it wasn't meant to be today.
It was not, unfortunately. But
Bazinga.
we'll be back. And then I think we might have a little something special in store for after the Ween stream, but
Oh,
that's to be announced later.
Oh God.
So look forward to that.
And thank you guys for tuning in.
Krish, yes, that is something that I think we want to get around to doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll edit them and add an intro.
We also need to start uploading Spotify
And
again.
we gotta get Spotify up.
Spotify, the last one on Spotify was the first part of Bjork.
Still? Oh no.
Yeah, that's on me.
Oh,
That's
no.
on me.
It's okay. I mean, I'm not pulling as much weight, so I can't really talk shit. That's changing though.
This is gonna be the 8th one that needs to be uploaded to Spotify.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. See everyone soon.
Goodbye.